Hi guys, welcome back to Mental Health Monday. My name is Michelle McQueen Bradley with Counselor 96, here to be your international counselor. And I am glad to be here because I haven't been here in a long time. And you know what I realized when I was going over a lot of my former topics on Mental Health Monday? I realized that a lot of them had nothing to do with boundaries. And I thought, what? I do boundaries like every day, all day with my clients. So I want to start a series on boundaries. We're going to stop social media for now and talk about boundaries because we need boundaries with social media, in relationships, in connections with things that we do, with work, with the balance that we need. And so we need boundaries in everything. And even God has called us to have a just weight, a just balance in everything that we do. So I want to talk about boundaries today. And I have a paper that I actually share with a lot of my clients, and I'm going to be reading from this and sharing some points and maybe some things that you can think about in the coming weeks as we go over it, okay? So we have several points here, and I'm just probably going to give out about 3 or 4 of them, and then we'll continue down for the next couple of sessions. All right, so boundaries. This is my paper here. I may share it with you. And it says, here are some other ways you can deny your true self and weaken your emotional boundaries. That is interesting, right? The first part of this paper that I have, I got it many years ago when I started in counseling. And it was this defining when you breach boundaries with others, it is a way of denying your true self. It is a way of you not being who you were created to be, denying your true self, not having boundaries. So then boundaries is also a kind of a weird subject because you start to wonder, is it being selfish to have boundaries, or is it truly self-care? Or when are there times that I am being selfish? So let's get into this and we'll start answering some of those questions over the coming weeks. First point, pretending to agree when you disagree. I love that color, but you really hate that color. Or concealing your true feelings. I wasn't hurt, but you were terribly hurt. So you're not voicing exactly how you're feeling. Going along with an activity that you really don't want to do and never stating your preference. That movie is fine with me. You'd rather take a walk. Declining to join an activity you really want to do. No thanks, you guys go ahead, but you're aching to belong. Pushing beyond your limits. That's important. A lot of people do that. They push themselves way beyond their own limits. Working too hard. Doing too much for others and not resting when tired. So I'm going to stop there. If you see a theme so far in these, this is not saying to be rude, to be impose who you are onto others, because then that's aggressive. That's being, that's nowhere near keeping healthy boundaries. That's now imposing and being manipulative and controlling. But when you are being true to who you are, saying, you know what, I actually don't like that color, I like this color, then you're being true to where you're at. Or say, you know what, I don't want this at all, I'd prefer this. And that's important. None of it being rude, none of it being hurtful to someone else, just being very true to who you are. And if they're not complying or don't want to go along with the boundaries that you're setting, then they're not for you. They're not there to support you. They're not there to have your back. And so there's a fine line there too, because I don't want you to feel like just because they're not going along with your color means they're not your friend, because maybe they go along with other things in your life. But it's important to be true to yourself, even with things as small as a color, because you want to know who you are and what you like, and then, because if you don't do it, and let me rephrase that, if you don't do that, then you'll find yourself not being true to yourself, and you'll be exhausted because you're putting on a mask, or you're putting on a facade, you're putting on something that you're not with others, and then you find yourself exhausted. So be who God has called you to be, okay? Because that's really where the healthy boundaries should be. All right, so I have so many verses around this, but I'm going to kind of reach a little bit because the verse that really came to my heart was in Nehemiah. Remember, Nehemiah put up a wall, was building a wall, hallelujah, which is funny. I'm not talking about a wall to not have friends and connections and relationships, but a wall, hallelujah, to keep enemies out that could harm those in Jerusalem. This wall was supposed to be up, and then Nehemiah had it in his heart. God put in his heart to be the forerunner and build this wall back up for these people. So I don't want to go into the full story, but by the end of the story, it is now important, now that this wall is up, it is important for now the children of Israel to understand the wall is now here. You keep yourself pure before me now. You know, God is saying, keep yourself pure. Keep yourself away from the things that are sinful, away from the things that are evil. Keep that boundary, you know. And so he was trying to teach them, you have now this wall. It is a divine wall. Keep that boundary. Don't go into evil, because evil will kill you and evil will kill your family. And in the end, you're finding yourself amongst others that are killing others. And that's not where we want our lives to go at all, because evil begets evil. It just begets more sin and destruction. So let's look at Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 17. And Nehemiah is contending with these people, saying, be sure to keep yourself away from this evil out here. And he's even talking to the leaders. Verse 17 says, then I contended with the nobles of Judah and said unto them, what evil thing is this that ye do, and profane the Sabbath day? Did not your fathers thus, and did not our God bring all this evil upon us, upon this city? Yet ye bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath. So he's teaching them, be sure to not continue the evil that was done in the past while the walls were brought down in the first place. I'm telling them, what evil thing is this that you're doing? You're profaning the Sabbath. And in this particular case, he's telling them, keep that boundary, especially with the Sabbath. Have that rest day. Have that time for God. Have that time for you and your family. And that is so important. We need those boundaries. How many know that work and life can get so caught up that you find yourself not resting and keeping the Sabbath? Oh my goodness, I can continue with this story, but I want to stop here. Please keep your boundaries this week. Enjoy God, enjoy yourself, enjoy your family, enjoy life, because he's with you. All right, we'll continue this next time, and have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.